Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Cab podcast, where heavy machinery meets real stories. Today we've got a real good one. We got Matt Weldon, the 26-year member, our training coordinator here at Local 17. He's an authorized OSHA and MSHA and HAZWOPER trainer and an all-around jam-up operator. I'm your host, Josh Williams, and my co-host here is Sean Evenden.
How we doing?
Matt, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's good to have you.
Too kind. This idea you had is a really good idea, and I remember at the meeting when you announced it, Tommy Hopkins was sitting up front.
That was awesome.
Grinning and shaking his head, yes, like, yeah, we should be doing this.
Yeah, I remember the stories that Tommy Hopkins had on the radio show, and which was awesome back then, but, I mean, nobody listens to radio anymore, so we couldn't do that. But, yeah, it was cool to have him there when we announced it and see him happy about it.
Yeah, I talked to him after the meeting, and he was saying you got to find ways to get to the members and talk to the members. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully this will do it. This is what we're looking to accomplish. Yeah, so, Matt, training coordinator. Wow, that's great. That's awesome. But we'll go back to, like we always do, like where everything began and how your childhood went to and what led you to becoming in Local 17.
Well, I did hear Sean's podcast. It was very good. And like him, playing in the sandbox, the Tonka toys, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Big interest as a kid. But it really probably started when I was in high school.
Okay.
Older brothers worked for a large environmental company.
How much older are you saying older brothers now?
Oh, geez, I'm the youngest of 9, so
9?
We got a 22-year spread on us.
22-year spread.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you're the youngest of 9.
I am number 9.
So are you the spoiled kid or the one that got beat up?
That's what my brothers will tell you.
Well, all right. Well,
The baby.
There were so many of us that we were numbered.
You were numbered?
Yeah.
You were number 9?
I'm 9.
It's like Slipknot in the band. Everybody's numbered.
Yeah, right.
So older brothers work for an environmental company, huh? Did they local company, or where did you grow up? Like, where was this at? Where are we talking about?
I grew up north of Philadelphia.
North of Philadelphia, okay. So
traveled a lot. My dad, military years, we moved a lot.
Okay.
So my high school years were north of Philadelphia. My brothers got into the business much older.
Were you getting in trouble, like North Philadelphia? Like, I'm trying to picture it in my head. To explain what that looks like.
Beautiful area, north of Philly. Kind of like Washington's Crossing area. Pretty rural area at the time.
Gotcha.
Pretty nice. The company that they worked for was nationwide company, family owned.
Okay. So these guys, were they operators or union guys or any of that?
No, my oldest brother was a project superintendent.
Okay.
And 2 other brothers were foremen. And, you'd hear the stories about the jobs and the equipment and what they were doing. So it interested me. And then, being in high school, not knowing what I wanted to do, my older brother, Pete, he said to me, he's like, well, why don't you check it out? See what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
you went and got a job with these guys? They hooked you up? Got you in?
Of course, being young, started out laboring and, doing that sort of thing.
Now, this being, like you say, environmental, like, is this environmental, like, cleanup stuff or environmental, for people that don't know, what's environmental? Like, what do we do?
Big drum jobs, train derailments, oil spills, tire fires.
Nasty stuff.
Really nasty stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Cleaning up plants, chemical plants, things like that. So
what was was there some training involved? Like, here you go, kid, here's a suit, get out there and help clean that up? Or did you actually have some training?
No, they had really good training.
Okay.
I went through my 40-hour HAZWOPER in 1991.
Wow.
And then started working on those jobs.
Do you remember the 40-hour HAZ class then compared to what we train now? Like, was it similar?
Yeah, very similar. And this company that's all they did, so it was ultra focused on, suits. I mean, you're suited up in level B.
Right.
It was pretty good training.
I only ask because that's odd to hear that a non-union company, or really a lot of companies that don't skip over the training, like
this particular company, family owned. It was large, but it was family owned.
Uh-huh.
They treated their people well. They had great training, good health and safety department. It wasn't until later. I was with that company for quite a while, but a little bit later, as the company got bigger and bigger, you get bought out, and all that stuff kind of starts to.
Was all that work in the North Philly area, or were you traveling?
I traveled throughout the Northeast.
Northeast?
They were nationwide. I didn't travel out of the area. I usually just stayed in my area, But I'd travel up to New York and, Mass. And
So what year is this?
Started in 91.
All right, so 91, you're a laborer for this company.
Yep.
And then how did you end up being like, was there something in that deal that was like, hey, man, I want to be that guy and to see the machine, or how did that come around?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when we get on these jobs, large drum jobs, and, old Cat 215s with grapplers, and these guys are grabbing the drums, just like you see on that the videos from the training that you went through.
Right. Okay.
The pig farm and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Being around track loaders and all that on the jobs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That was really cool.
So you kind of, at that point, you went from, was this just a job to you, and then it turned into like, man, I really want to do that, versus like knowing when you were a little kid that you wanted to be an operator?
No, I wanted to get into running the equipment.
Cool.
They had, you could move up in a company. Obviously, the guys that were running the equipment really kind of dictated the job and,
right.
Managed the job.
All right. So this is 91. How long did you stay working there then until you kind of got out of?
Until I joined Local 17.
So how many years was that?
About 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 years all as a laborer, or did you move up? You
No.
got in the equipment?
No, got into the equipment probably about, 2 years into it. You start out, you'll be on skid steers and get into some loaders, backhoes. They had a fleet of Case 580 construction kings, But that you'd start out running that, and then as you gain their trust, you'd start running, like you'd get on the excavators, the 215s.
Any training with that involved, or was this kind of like get on there and start figuring out yourself? And
some of the guys would teach you, but a lot of it was self-taught.
Yeah. Right.
And then even after getting into Local 17, you learned that what you were doing wasn't.
Yeah, when you get around somebody knows. We get that a lot.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really like Sean at his moment where the operator just said, I had enough, and just quits, and all right, you're up, kid, it's your turn. You didn't have one of those there that was kind of like, hey, today you're going to operate equipment, or was it?
No, but with doing a lot of emergency response jobs, and they'd be short people, you're trying to move people in, they'd get you in there you got to take care of the work.
To take care of it,
done,
yeah. Any jobs that stuck out during that time that were pretty cool? Like,
the tire fire job was.
Tire fire. Tell us about that job. What was that?
This was in Washington, PA, and it's a recycling plant, and this is in like 96. They had over 2 million tires, shredded tires.
Ooh.
And they were in 3 separate buildings, these huge warehouses. After they shred them, they just pack them in.
Pack them full.
Well, it was a real windy day in like March, and a 15-year-old kid.
From North Philly?
Yeah, from Pittsburgh.
Not in trouble?
Yeah, he started a fire in it. The winds just carried it to all the buildings.
Wow.
But now you're talking about all the structural steel, everything falls down on top of the piles.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff's burning at like 1,500 degrees.
And you weren't there right away. I mean, this thing was burning for a bit before you guys showed up, right?
Our first crews from Pittsburgh were probably there within hours.
Okay.
But, I moved in from Buffalo.
But you weren't there to put the fire out. You guys are an environmental company.
No, we were there to put it out.
To put it out.
Yeah.
Didn't
you work with the fire department. They can't. It is such a massive
Like
scale.
peeling the beams and that collapsed over top of it, peeling it off, opening the piles?
That was the first thing, to expose it. So when I first got there, I was on a 320 with a grappler, just pulling the steel off. So you got Nomex, your level B.
Sure.
The fire department, you're calling them in on the radio to cool an area just so you could work in it. It was pretty wild. They were up in the tower, and they'd spray the water right over top.
I bet there was no smoke involved with the tire fire.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It was hard to see. And I worked at night shift, so it was really hard to see.
You can probably still smell it.
I was going to say, the machines probably had to stink forever.
Oh, it was brutal.
Oh, man.
And then once you'd get enough of the steel off, then you'd go I'd switch the attachments, put the shear on, process it, get it out of the way. And
But I would imagine as soon as you start peeling some of that stuff off, and then the wind's blowing, it almost brings the fire back up because now you're getting
constantly,
Yeah.
constantly, and then the steel that was stuck inside the pile,
Yeah.
the fire department could get like a crust on the outside, cool it off a little
cool it
bit,
off,
but the
right.
inside is still cherry red.
Cherry red.
Sure.
So you pull steel out that's like, beams and posts and stuff that were
Yeah.
cherry red, glowing.
And what about, so environmental company getting called a tire fire, I'm just trying to put this together. So obviously the water that you hit the tires and stuff with has to go somewhere. Was that part of the reason you were there too?
Oh yeah, and the terrain, like in Pittsburgh, if you've been to Pittsburgh, it's very hilly.
Yeah.
A lot of hills.
Yeah.
So this building is kind of like in the face of a hill. The drainage goes down to a creek down below. So we had guys down below with water treatment, putting in dams, trying to stop the spread.
Yep.
Wow.
It was pretty wild.
So you were
It took 4 weeks to
was
put
gonna
the
say,
fire
how long were you
out.
there?
4 weeks to put it out.
7 days a week.
You were there
Round
4
the
weeks?
clock. Yep.
And you probably didn't leave the job at all for like the first, you just,
The first couple days, no. And then after, enough people would get there, then you could go get a break.
wow.
But you'd work 14-hour shifts, overlap the day shift.
And how old were you then?
Geez, I was probably 24, 25.
You're probably making some good money working that kind of hours and overtime and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that's great.
No, that company was pretty good. It wasn't until they got bought out when the family decided they were going to sell.
It's always a buyout.
Yeah, you go from it was like a 10,000 employee company at that point, and all those benefits of working there all started to go away.
Yep.
But, yeah.
So you were started there when you were living in North Philly, and now how'd you get to Buffalo then from there? Was that like you were just
Actually,
working up here? or-
actually, my parents moved to Buffalo right after I graduated.
Oh,
so
okay.
they were opening an office in Buffalo. So I was the only one in my family that worked out of the office in Buffalo.
So that just kind of worked out.
Yeah.
You were moving up here.
Yeah.
They were up. So now you're working for this company out of Buffalo, living here.
Yeah, they had an office in Clarence.
Then what kind of work were they doing around here then? Or was it all travel and didn't really matter?
A little bit of both. Like Full Brothers, they did the original investigation at Full Brothers long before Sevenson went there.
That was one on Transit by Arrow, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I kept hearing about that job, but
Yep.
it was long before
But
my
they did
time.
jobs for like OxyChem. I worked with 463 back in like 92. I was a laborer,
Okay.
but that's when I got to meet Travis and all those guys.
How did 91 let you in up there then if you were a laborer?
Well, you're like monitoring the water treatment systems and things like that they didn't
You weren't
take
doing
care
their
of.
work.
And actually, it was weird. It was a weird job because it was 463, but it was 210.
Oh,
It wasn't 91, so it was kind of a
Interesting. Yeah.
kind of a mix. But yeah, I got to meet a ton of guys from 463.
So you met like Feder and some of the guys that are around, and
like Lyle Evans
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and Vince Salerno and Travis and his dad and
wow.
Farmer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like
John
all,
Farmer.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
all those guys.
So then so you were working for that job here then, and so is that kind of how the transition into Local 17 happened? Was through them, or was it?
Yeah. I was on a job in Blaisdell, and so was Tommy Pollock.
Okay. Yeah. Tommy, yeah.
And we were the only two guys there running equipment.
What were you guys doing? You remember what the?
It was a vapor extraction system, so we were putting in piping, underground piping, and then
for like
they
a
built-
landfill or something, or for a?
It wasn't a landfill. Can't remember what it was for,
whatever.
but
Yeah.
piping system put in a building.
Big
vapor
job?
extraction. Yeah, it was fairly large. Yeah,
2
Yeah.
hours,
and then we
but-
capped it afterwards with clay, and that's what we were doing. I was digging trenches. Tommy was doing all the backfill. But we were in a brake trailer one day, and in walks in an organizer from 17.
Just kicks the door open, walks right
Walked
in.
right in, pleasant. How you guys doing? Good. He says, "You guys union?" And of course, he knew we weren't.
He knew you weren't.
And Tommy goes, "You hiring?"
Tommy Boggs, they hired.
Yeah, hiring. Tommy had tried to get in a few times.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
So kind of kicked off. That was during Comet.
Oh yeah, the Comet program.
Comet program. So
That actually had acronyms. What Comet meant. I don't remember what.
it's
they
like
are.
member education and training.
Right.
So it's like
Okay.
It was a whole thing throughout the international.
Yeah. It was a program to basically grab guys from the non-union and bring them in, right?
Well, and also using your members to get information out
Sure.
to the non-union.
Right.
So that was good.
So you walked in, he asked you to hire, or Tommy asked him, and he was, sure, come on in, join tomorrow.
Yeah, so we talked about organizing. We never, the company never did sign but they stripped quite a few of us. And then, as far as I know, most of the work around here went union after that. All the work that they did.
They did. They actually signed a contract and went union then?
Yeah, so that company later was the company that did the work at Praxair.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was all union, and there was some other projects locally.
The organizer walks in the door and says, hey, looking for guys, and I'll sign up, I'll go. How did, that process of, what did he say? Okay, take your phone number down, I'll call you, and you got to quit here tomorrow and go to work, or how did that?
No, not right away. We talked a little bit about, trying to talk with some of the other guys and see what...
He was trying to organize a company versus steal you from there. Yeah.
We tried. I mean, ultimately, I think there was a few of us that got stripped and ended up joining.
Okay. So he basically...
And the process took a while. I mean, took quite a while. That was probably in the fall. It was probably the spring of the next year. The way it looked, we ended up coming in and getting evaluated.
Called you up, come over, run some equipment in the training center.
Yep.
Nervous about that at all?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A bunch of guys standing around watching you run, criticizing you.
Guys, know what they're doing.
You're union guys, right? You think they should, yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was working out of town. I had to come back into town.
They called you and said, hey, how would they give you for a notice? Say tomorrow, or was it next week?
It was the week before. I think it was the week before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I flew back in town.
Wow.
Stayed in town for the week, evaluated, and then went back.
Okay. How long after you evaluated did you get a phone call then, or how did that work?
It was probably about a month and a half later.
How many guys were there when you evaluated? Was it just you?
Just Tommy and I.
Wow, just two guys.
It was just Tommy and I. And then it was probably about a month and a half later, I think after E-Board, when they made a decision, contacted us, but there wasn't enough work at the time.
Oh, it was a slim year?
Yeah, there was guys.
This is in the spring?
This is like May, May and June. And,
yeah.
I remember Mark Kirsch saying, hey, I'd like to get you in, but I got too many guys that are on the bench.
Right.
We're not going to bring you in yet.
Now, did you have, at that time, you still had your certs, your 40-hour has and stuff like that were actually still...
Yep.
So the certs may have helped you at that point.
Matter of fact, I think that was part of it they were looking at.
Yeah, this guy's ready to go for a has job tomorrow. Whatever.
Yep. Yeah, there was a few.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think it was September. Yeah, it was September when got the call.
So you
come in to get initiated.
Originally, you're talking almost a year there from the first contact you got made with the BA.
Yeah, probably close to about 10 months, I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So September, you're coming into the end of the season. Where were you working then in September when you...
I was still out of town. And I remember work was still slow. So they said, just stay put where you're at. When we call you,
you're going to have to roll.
You just roll.
That's the way it works around here. We never get I shouldn't say we hardly ever get the chance to know we're going to need a guy next week. It's always tomorrow, and every time it happens, tomorrow.
Well, it's almost better off when we don't know, because we need a guy next week. You try to save him, and something happens anyways. You still need to promise somebody, and he's never there anyways.
Worst thing you can do is try and plan it, because it never works. Yeah, you're better off that you need to be here tomorrow and go to work. Yeah.
Yeah, I told him, absolutely. As soon as you call, I'm ready to go.
That's a go-to move. A lot of people don't want to do that. Don't want to leave something that they know is secure, and they've been here a while and they treat me good. I hear all these stories every time you offer somebody a job in a union, and they're like, hey, I got to talk to my wife, or I got to do this, or I got to do that.
There you go. You got to start tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day of the rest of your life.
We've had excuses. Can I start in 2 weeks? I'm getting married. I'm going on a honeymoon. Or I've had all these different deals, and it's like, no, I'll get somebody else. And sorry, you just missed your opportunity,
No, I remember being super excited about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I ever told you this story, like my first weekend.
Let's hear it. We're here for it.
I've heard this. This is a good one. I've heard this. I was hoping it was coming up. Yep.
I got the call, said you got to go to work.
Who called you? Remember?
Bove.
Okay,
Gary Bove. He called me, and he's like, "Hey, I got a job for you, and you start Monday." It was for a fiber optic company down. They were from out of town. They had a bunch of out of town guys. We had a picket line up there.
Oh,
it was a little.
So the picket line flipped the job, maybe.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
So you're going into hostile territory right away.
And me being, I don't even know how any of this works yet, So I show up first day. I'm at the yard, and their yard was off of Virginia before Roswell expanded and all that.
Okay.
There was a yard right there. And one of the guys came up. I didn't know anybody. Came up to me. He's like, "Hey, Mo."
Mo? Yeah. All right.
"Hey, Mo. You an operator?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, your stew's over there. You might want to go get with them." The guys that I worked with right off the bat were willing to show and teach, and that matters when you come in.
So let's back up a second, though, because we've been trying to do stuff like this. So what did you know about Local 17, the union, the benefits, the pension, the health care, any of this stuff? You just got a phone call, said you got to be here tomorrow. I mean, obviously you don't know the questions asked, but did they tell you much about what you were getting into?
When I was first initiated, within 2 weeks, I remember sitting down with the business manager and 3 business reps at the old hall.
Okay.
And they went over everything.
Now this is, you said after you're initiated. Were you initiated not before you started work?
Yes.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Yep. I was initiated before.
So the phone call came in before you set foot in the job. You actually got initiated first?
Yep. They initiated me.
Okay.
And then
this is at the old American Drive?
Hall. Yep.
North American Drive?
Before there wasn't enough work. So they just said, sit tight.
So they initiated you then and then let you go back to work non-union?
Yep. I just stayed where I was.
Right. Okay.
Which happened to be a job, some of our 463 guys were on. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
But
okay, so the first day of job, you're already a member. You've got a card in your pocket.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Go out there. Little nervous. You're trying to learn everything.
Sure.
So who was the steward?
Merle Schreckengast.
I've heard that name, but I never met him. Yeah.
There's another Schreckengast came in a couple years ago.
Dave
Schreck. Yeah, Schreckengast. Yeah,
that's where it was from. Yeah. I remember starting first day. Goes pretty good. Right. So show up.
Who were you running?
TLB.
Okay.
Yeah, they were this fiber optic company. They used. There was probably 3 of us running those. We had skid steers, and there was only a couple of excavators on the job.
Putting fiber optic, digging trench, laying the cable in, backfilling.
Yeah, it was actually we were putting in a whole duct bank because Williams Communications was selling the other ducts to other. So they had a 6-inch steel, and then the rest were like 4-inch.
That were just empty to pull wires through at any time.
Yep, for future.
Nice.
So
the first day goes good.
Pretty good.
You got to come back a second day.
Yeah. So
got to come back.
Well, I was nervous.
Sure, we always are. That's how I was told. You don't know if you have a job until you get invited to come back the next day. They'll always pay the first day, but yeah.
And I remember coming in the second day and go to pull in the yard, and there's a picket line
already set up in the yard.
Yep. Uh-oh. So the laborers, their work wasn't good.
We got our work; they didn't get theirs.
They were out there, but I don't know if they didn't get their contract squared away. I don't remember all the details. It was all kind of new to me then. But all I knew was the guys are like, "There's picket line,
hang out,
just hang out. You can't go home, but just kind of hang out here." So, I'm like, all right, hang out. We're talking. I'm getting to know the guys, anyways.
Yeah,
that's all right. So
it's a great way to meet people on a picket line.
Oh yeah. Well, got to know them a little bit better because they said, well, since we're not going to go to work today, we're going to go down to the Malamute.
The old Malamute.
Yeah, so we were in there for a while.
Because at Malamute, you could go in there at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was open.
Yeah.
There was a lot of third shift guys that work in plants and things downtown that would go there after work. And
it's like, whatever, I'm meeting some of these guys. I don't know anybody yet. I'll go in and get to know some guys.
So by 8 o'clock in the morning, you're already in the mail and you're meeting the guys.
It wasn't quite 8, but it was
8:30.
So go home
at 3:30 normal time. How was work today, honey?
Great. It's great. Didn't explain much. The next day, show up, picket line. So this goes on the whole week.
So you get to work one day in your first day in the union.
Yep. And then the rest of the 4 were very similar.
Wow.
Picket line.
Not a lot of guys that would have stuck around with that deal.
Got home Friday. Now keep in mind, my wife, we
spent $100 that first week.
We
didn't make anything.
We had a 2-year-old at home, and she was probably 5 months pregnant, expecting at this point. So
okay.
So Friday, she's like, "What did you do?"
Great time to join a union, honey.
What did you do? You quit the job that you had.
It was to go do this.
And to go do this, and you've worked one day.
Wow.
And all I could say was, it's camaraderie.
It's going to be okay. Trust me.
Camaraderie.
Hey, it is, right? It was, yeah.
No, it was good. And we joke about it now.
How long did that strike last then before you get to go back to work?
They got it squared away early in the following week.
Okay.
They were squared away.
So you brought that. First week was 1 day's pay home.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's something else.
And then I was out there for about 4 weeks.
How many operators were with you in that job, you remember?
I'd say probably 7 or 8.
Okay, a decent-sized job, yeah.
Yeah. So worked there about 4 weeks, and then they had an issue with like permits for the next section or something, so they were doing a layoff. So I was one of the last guys in.
Sure.
Gonna get laid off. Yeah, all right, whatever. Bo felt terrible because I'm paying Cobra benefits.
Oh yeah.
So he felt terrible, and he's like, "Oh, we'll help you out. We'll get you your hours so you can buy in to the healthcare and all that." So that night, Jerry Thompson calls me.
Okay.
He's like, "I got a job for you tomorrow if you want it." And it's down. It was like an hour and 40-minute ride. Ellery Landfill. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah, right. That's what it is.
But
well, this is like in the fall time. You said you started in September, right? So you worked a bit, and then it had to be.
No, we're in the spring now.
Oh, you're going through the winter, right?
Yeah.
So you worked. Okay, you worked that first job all the way through the winter.
No, it didn't start until probably February. So I've sat.
Oh,
I sat after initiation. I sat for quite a while.
Okay.
Which was fine.
Yeah.
We went from my wife going, "What did you do?" to getting laid off to having a business rep who barely even knew me helping me out the next day.
That's great.
I mean, he put me to work by 7 o'clock that night. And there was plenty of guys that were in that area that could have went to the job, but he was trying to get my health care going.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's good. That's what we do. Yeah. So you bring somebody in, the last thing you want to do is not get the benefits that we talk about. Yeah, sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I think it was then when she's like, "Oh, okay, now I understand."
You'll be all right with it, yeah. Ellery Landfill, so that's, so what are we running down there? What, that was a cap job or something, or a new cell, or what was
New cell. Yeah, it was a new cell.
What year is this, you remember? Or roughly?
Had to be, that was 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, 2000. So there was a good
Who was the company?
Barbella Environmental.
Okay.
They were out of New Jersey. So went down there.
Had you heard of them before because you were in the environmental world?
No. Nah. First started running roller.
Dirt roller.
Yep. Dirt roller. Paired me up with John D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Excellent dozer.
Great dozer operator. Yeah.
Like I said, not knowing how to do certain things. Mm-hmm. Sit and watch and learn, and he would teach me quite a bit. So
yeah, there's an art. There's definitely not rolling rolling dirt or rolling blacktop. It's not just hop on it and go, kid. There's stuff to it.
Yeah. Then we get end dump, but you get moved around a little bit. End dump, got a little bit of hoe time, some loader, things like that.
How long did that job last?
It lasted longer than I was there. Barbella ended up getting another job on Unity Island.
Oh yeah,
and so they moved me up to there. Me and one of the other operators.
A lot closer to home.
Oh yeah.
Was that an environmental job too?
Yeah, so that job, we were cleaning up the ponds. That's right by the Army Corps.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they have all those ponds out there.
Unity Island was it Squaw Island then? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a couple projects going on out there. We had a picket line going up on the other end of the island for the treatment plant. I forget what it was.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that back then the picket lines were much more common than they are now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and back then Unity Island, heavy trees on that end, all around the ponds. There was firebomb cars out there.
Oh, really?
I was on a loader, grabbed the forks. I think I probably stacked up 20 cars.
Really?
Wow.
And they were all new. They weren't
brand new cars?
Yeah. Like Land Rovers and stuff like that.
Really?
I don't know if people couldn't afford the payments or whatever it was.
Take it out there and light it on fire.
Yep.
I've actually never been out on that island.
Me either.
Yeah, never been out there.
Came out pretty good. We ended up lining the ponds, the bottom 2 feet, with crush and run. So the one pond we used, Local 25 came in,
Yeah.
the Marine guys,
The offshore marine guys. Yeah.
and we would dump the stone off the edge, and they would use the mudcats and the augers, the dredgers, to pump it out to like a diffuser, and then stone would hit and spread
out.
and they would this all day long just to line the pond.
So actually the reverse operation of dredging. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're putting it
pretty
back
cool.
in.
Putting it back in.
Exactly. The stone used to wear the pipe out, so they'd have to change the pipes out quite frequently.
Wow. Was that there was no GPS back then? They were just using some sort of grade stakes, or was it like?
I'm not sure how they were measuring.
Yeah, it's whatever. But kind of neat though.
I was working with. We had another truck, a conveyor that I would load. He had like 120 foot of reach. I would load him with crush and run, and he would line the ones. We'd move probably 3 or 4 times around the pond. He could reach most of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty neat job.
Nice. So that was all right. And where'd you end up after that? You just keep kind of bouncing around to whatever they would send you to, and
Yeah.
Did you ever land anywhere that was like kind of like a home sometime of some sort?
Yeah. So I don't know. Probably.
Oh, wait a second. We got to get into because I remember Praxair. We got to talk about that one.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, probably about 2 years after I got in, went out to Praxair and was there for quite some time.
Yeah,
Quite some time.
Praxair was the job that just kept on giving. I remember that.
Yeah, I was there with a couple different contractors. Probably it was like 9 years the first run.
Wow.
And three
So-
with the second.
Praxair, Tonawanda, up there off of Lake Sheridan, right? That's where that's at?
Yep.
And what kind of this was an environmental sort of or cleanup job, though, right?
All rad.
Radiation.
From the Manhattan Project, cleanup from the Manhattan Project. So, building the first atomic bombs.
Wow.
So it was pretty neat.
Have you ever worked around rad before?
Yes. Before I joined the union, I was with that environmental company. I worked down in Long Island at Brookhaven National Laboratories down there. It was some rad down there.
Clean up again?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a crazy project. That one was called the Glass Holes Project. So
Really?
it's an old national laboratory. It's all sand in Long Island.
Okay.
They just dug holes and buried the waste.
Wow. Just like in what
We'll
kind of
just dig a hole. It's good enough
like
for now.
liquid waste or what kind of what are you talking?
Everything. Liquids, animals, you name
Just
it.
throw it in a hole
Oh, yeah.
and just think nobody's going to find it or see it or whatever happened.
Things were done differently back then, I guess.
Oh, man.
way back.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the first time being around rad.
Really?
But that was a...
It's a laboratory that was like they must have did experiments.
It's still
or
there.
something? Is
Yeah,
it
it's
the lab's still there?
Yeah, still going. Still going.
They didn't get. I'm surprised they're still in business after doing like a big cleanup like that. You think they
It's
had
the
a guy-
government.
Oh, the government. Okay, yeah, they're still there then.
Yeah.
They're still there. Then.
So what was it? What kind of stuff was at Praxair then you were cleaning up?
All the, I guess it would be the waste from refining, the early refining process of like uranium ore for the bomb.
So was it like
It was like one of 50 sites across the country that was used in the Manhattan Project. It was spread out.
I would like when you say waste. I mean, I'm thinking like if people that are out there thinking about rate, it's like glowing green liquid, like, oh, that's radiation, like, oh, that's the stuff, or that's what you think of because it's in the TV or whatever. Ooh,
no, it's not like that.
No,
there was the material that when we first got started, yellow cake. There were some spots where you could see
yellow cake.
Yeah, it's like yellow powdery material, but
you don't have to test that to see if that's red. That's red.
Early on in the job, the levels were pretty high, and no problems finding it.
Right.
But
now, when you say the levels, like for radiation's obviously a whole different animal. It's almost like asbestos. Like you can't see it. Like radiation doesn't feel hot to the touch. It doesn't, or does it? I've never been around it.
No, I mean you're not you.
You can't smell it, see it.
But after all the years of doing environmental work, I did, probably 20 years of my career doing it. Right. I would much rather work around rad than chemicals. Because the rad, the instrumentation picks it up immediately. It's like real time. Get good, accurate information real time. So
and with radiation, time, distance, and shielding is your friend, so you can kind of get.
And it's heavily regulated.
Right.
Okay. People there did a great job. The third parties and all that did a great job regulating it. So, no, it was very safe.
And that was, so we're cleaning up waste, and then was there like contamination around the area, like dirt and everything had to be cleaned up too?
Well, pretty much it seemed like, I'm not an expert on it, but it seemed like every utility that they put in, they almost spread the contamination.
Okay.
Because now, you had contamination closer to the surface, then you go in and put in a sewer line 20 foot deep, and if you didn't handle things properly, now the waste contaminants
everywhere. Right.
So we pulled up sewer lines, the water lines.
So were you there just to clean up the mess, or was there an actual like expansion or a new job or something new going on that you're preparing for, or was this just, hey, this is dirty, clean it up?
Yeah, this was strictly the federal government doing a cleanup, and the Department of Energy is largest cleanup operation in the world.
Yeah.
They're
everywhere.
You think about West Valley, you think about Hanford.
It's like, what's the one in Tennessee?
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge, yeah. It just never ends.
It never ends. It's
just constant cleanup. So when you do this, you got dirt and contaminants, and you're loading it into, and how are they getting rid of it? Like, what are they doing with it?
We put it all into intermodal containers, roll-offs with lids, and then they would go on the rail cars. But it's not like what most of us are used to, hog and haul. It's not. It's very slow.
It's funny.
Deliberate. Like you're not digging heaping buckets, because you can't. If you start digging heaping buckets, you're spilling it all over the place. They call that salting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're just spreading the material.
Right.
Spreading the waste. So it was a little more controlled.
So the idea though with the cleanup, so we're going to take it from Praxair, put it in a box, and then we're going to do what with it? We don't process it and make it clean, or we just put it somewhere else?
No, So the record of decision there was nothing stayed in our state.
So basically, it's just, we're going to clean this up, but we're just going to put it somewhere else.
Depending on the level of contamination.
No, yeah, you just put it somewhere else.
Like early on, the material was heavily contaminated. It was material that I believe they could do a reclaiming process that went out to like Utah.
Okay.
And then the stuff that was by rail.
Okay.
And then the lower level material all went to a place in Texas.
Okay.
Yes, it was all shipped out.
Texas. Wow.
That's weird.
From here to Texas.
Yeah.
Couldn't find anywhere in between.
Here to Utah, too. That's a long
Utah,
way.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so the one in Utah was doing like a reclamation. I think they could, do something with the material, but...
What did the intermodal container hold, like compared to a dump truck?
We were putting them at about, I'm going to say 40,000 pounds.
So 2 dump trucks, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, and there was, the way that they had some that
pounds or tons? I'm sorry.
40,000 pounds.
Oh, so 1 dump truck. Okay.
Yeah. They had a couple different ones. Some were hard tops, some were just rag tops. They looked just like a regular roll-off container with a tarp. The hard tops were a little bit more interesting to load because you had a deck on the front and the back. So to get it fully loaded, you had to
Yeah.
Without salting it.
Yeah, without salting it and spreading it, getting the material jammed into the rails for the lid, and then it would go to a station where the laborers would cover it up and wash it
This
down.
all placarded up like radioactive, or do they hide it? Like they didn't want you
No, it was all labor.
I've just always heard stories of train cars leaving West Valley always at night. They just nobody wants.
Always at night.
They don't want people panicking that there's radioactive material flying down the tracks or nothing.
The stuff that goes down our rails.
Oh, man. Yeah. I think we're a lot luckier than we know about that we don't get more train derailments around. Man.
Yeah, so we had tracks right on the site, and the trucks would, after we had scales on the job, so after containers were cleaned, they'd get weighed and then dropped over there and staged for shipping. Once the shipping order came in, they'd pick them up again, bring them over to the crane.
And a crane on site?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Where did they get it? I think it was one of Benchley's cranes.
Okay.
And they rented it from them for
9 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about then the crew that was obviously all union job, the union laborers, all guys from Local 17, or were there travelers there?
No, all 17.
17 guys. Did you have laborers and the other trades as well, or just laborers?
210. We had some plumbers. We were obviously doing the water lines and sewer lines.
So on a 9-year job like how did that work? With the same guys the whole time, 9 years?
A lot of the same guys. There would be some changeover.
And no layoff, and this is just constant work for 9 years.
We had a couple slowdowns, a couple layoffs, but pretty steady for the 9 years. Sometimes when they'd get to the end of the budget year, they might need to spend the money. You might work a little bit more, and then
how was it? So did you have a steward
or get laid off sooner?
Yeah, or that.
Yeah.
You have a steward out there then?
Yeah.
Any issues on that job at all, or was that pretty decent?
No major issues, and our stewards did a great job out there. We had a couple of good ones. So
good.
Yeah, a couple of really good stewards. We had a master mechanic on the job too. So.
Oh wow, master mechanic.
Yeah, we had a master there the entire time I was there.
How many pieces of iron?
Probably a dozen.
Okay.
I mean, maybe more, but a dozen being used at any one time.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that whole thing. Like when it was going on, I was an apprentice during the time, and it was like one of the only jobs that was just steady. And when we did apprentice rotations out there, I think you got to go out for
usually at least 3 months.
I think it was 3 or 4 months,
maybe. Yeah.
And we never got to work back to back. It was always the switches. So if you drew the lucky straw and got to go to Praxair, it was like, man, you had 4 months. And it was like you could count on 4 months of steady income. So the guys that were going there were hitting the lottery. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go. But
so how'd that work for the master mechanic if he's got to fix something out there? That thing have to get completely deconned before he could work on something?
Sometimes. Other times he'd go in the zone, but he only brought in the tools you absolutely needed to work on it. Same went for servicing the equipment, just regular oil changes. I mean, that's when I met Bill. Back in the early 2000s.
If I could come out there and do some stuff,
Yeah, so I'd work right with him doing a service on that.
What they have for equipment? Cats, Komatsus? Or
Cat.
All cat?
Well, it was all cat. Later on, they switched over to Volvo.
Oh, really?
They bought some new Volvo equipment.
They owned it? They didn't rent the stuff? They owned everything? Wow.
No.
Bought it all. What company was this? Was this Shaw, or was this the...
At that point, it was Shaw, yeah. So it started out, it was IT, and then Shaw bought them out. It was
IT, wasn't that the company you worked for then?
Yeah, IT bought out OHM. And
okay, so it was OHM, IT, and then IT ended up there, and then Shaw.
Shaw bought them.
Yeah. And then didn't Sevenson finish part of that or something afterwards?
Yeah, there was, it probably shut the job down for about a year, maybe a little less, and then Sevenson finished up that last phase for about 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. Were you still there during the Sevenson phase then?
I went back there, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I went back there.
And then did that job just finish up and you're the last one there and lock the gate and leave type thing?
Yeah, and I think even since then they've rebuilt some things in that area on the project.
Where'd you end up after that then?
Where did I go after that? Oh, I think I worked for Pinot for a little bit.
Okay.
Went to the Harbor Center.
Oh, that's right, the Harbor Center. When we built that thing.
When you were there.
2013-ish?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range?
Yeah, 2013. Yeah, I went to the Harbor Center.
Were you working for Pinot there, or was that for...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Pinot. First time I worked with them, and, they do a lot of utility work. And
yeah. I remember watching you guys do some stuff down there with the tower crane and see you guys moving around doing little things. That job was...
I'm not owning that one.
That job was tough, though. Like any building job, there's always, whenever you're doing, there's something in the way. Somebody's stone piles over here. I remember it was a race to dig the utilities. Like somebody would put a pipe in the ground that was 2 feet deep, and then somebody else has to come in and put something in that's 7 feet deep, but there was no coordination of who. Would you think you'd do the deepest one first?
Yeah. Nah. No, often it was the electricians that were first.
They would just get in there and fire the conduit in?
Yeah, I was digging for them.
There was people that would just break right through the stuff. I remember hearing stories like, it's in the way, I'm breaking it. And wow.
A lot of that at the new stadium, too.
Just break it?
Just digging right through it.
It's in the way. Break it. Figure it out later. I was supposed to be here first. Yep. Yeah. That was a cold winter. I remember 13, it was in the tower crane down there. Man, it was a cold, windy winter.
Yeah.
Probably... last
year was a few in a row,
but yeah, it was a few in a row.
Few cold winters in a row.
Yeah. So then you're at Pinot there for quite a while then?
I was with them for probably a year, about a year.
That Harbor, I remember. This was the one where I remember sitting up in the tower crane one day and I see this big cloud of dust down there, and I call you up like, what are you guys doing down there in this cloud of dust?
Yeah, they were. It
wasn't you, but you were near it.
Yeah. Well, I walked away, but
yeah,
it was. They were trying to take a couple inches off the top of a drainage structure.
It's already in the ground.
Yeah, so they were trying to lower it.
So wait a second, we set it with the wrong.
No, this was there for years,
it was already there.
The redesign, we're dropping everything, and
so they plan on cutting it.
Yeah. So
dry.
It was cold. Water's an issue, right? So they're going to cut it dry, and
I'll just hold my breath.
Yeah, that's when you're up in the tower crane. You go, what are you doing? I was up the street.
I knew you weren't doing it, but I knew you knew what was going on. I just had to ask him, look at this mess.
Yeah.
Well,
get the water.
All in the name of getting the jobs done, right?
Yeah. And and then things were a little bit slow come that spring.
Yeah.
And then Keegan Latchett gave me a call. He was on a job over at Riverbend. So it was Simonelli.
Yeah, Riverbend, when the big Buffalo Billion came through.
Yeah, so when he called me, that was before it became what it is now. It was supposed to be like 6 separate buildings with a spine at Riverbend.
Yeah.
And then, so we were digging test pits.
All was Simonelli, right, back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that, that's another brownfield site, so we were digging test pits. And
now that one, everybody had to have a hazmat card to get on that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you were not working in the support areas, if you were working in there digging
because there was I forget the name of the building or the company that was there beforehand, but there was a big factory or something there before.
That was Republic Steel.
That's right. Yeah, it was on that site. Yeah.
Smoker was telling me he was out there when they did the demo.
Yeah. There's a picture at the school of a big hole that fell through like some basement or something out there, wasn't there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like halfway through the floor. I thought that's what somebody told me. It was at Republic Steel.
They cut everything off like a foot below grade, and then kind of capped the site.
Raise the grade.
Now we're going to build a building here.
Yeah, many years later, you go to build a building. That was some of the worst digging.
Did they have any idea what was underneath them? They knew it was there?
Oh, yeah.
You guys didn't.
I had no idea.
Right.
I just knew it was. They're like, you're going to see foundations.
Nothing like
we found ore cars. You name it.
They just buried everything. Didn't you find like oxyacetylene bottles and stuff too?
Yeah, they were full. Went off. Luckily.
How does that work? And you're still here.
Yeah, it was scary. I was on a 670, and I was digging out part of the basement.
John Deere, is this Komatsu?
John Deere 670.
New one? Like
brand new. It was brand new.
It's a big machine.
Brand
670.
New. Yeah. No, it was nice. Brand new. digging out a basement section, getting ready to prep an area. We would do most of the prep work so that the other companies that would come in, they got to build something, they get a fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a few feet down in, and I catch the cylinder. I couldn't see it.
No.
I caught the top of the cylinder, and it went off. Luckily, it was between my bucket and a concrete wall.
Really?
So everything went straight up.
You had no idea what that was?
No idea.
Probably thought a hydraulic line or something blew or whatever.
It seemed
loud.
I'm like, what did I hit that it exploded?
How long was it?
And the guys that were out in front of the river bend said they could see the dirt like 100 feet in the air. It was crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that thing was there. Like how many years ago they buried, or what year they
I want to say they did the demo in the 90s. I think Jimmy was out there in the 90s.
So we're talking, it depends on what year it was in the 90s, but.
And then now you're in 2014.
I was going to say 20-some years at least, right?
Yeah.
Wow, buried underground.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Just bury it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Didn't leak out either. Still full.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm hunting for the acetylene. Ended up finding it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Safety guys come out and freak out. Yeah. Oh.
How could we prevent this?
X-ray? I don't know what you want to here.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. What?
Crazy.
Didn't you have a big wrecking ball on that machine?
Not on that machine. The first machine I was on, there was a PC 800.
An 800.
Yeah. So we ripped out all the foundations with that.
That thing just tear right through foundations, no problem?
Yeah, that was Cambria's machine, and it was really set up for it. So they had a narrower bucket. They beefed up. They had heavier shanks on it. We didn't have the wrecking ball at first. I think it was after a little bit. Ronnie Marin was on the 490 with a hammer, and you know what it's like when you get into walls. You're trying to hammer walls vertically. It's
I heard you guys had a pile of hammer points out there because that was a cold winter too.
Yeah. There was quite a few hammer points.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, and I think one of the Simonelli's like, project manager. He's like, "What if I got you a wrecking ball?" I'm like, yeah. So we did that, and man, it worked great.
Just swing that wrecking ball right into that foundation, and just break them right up.
It was the first time I ever used one.
Sure.
So there's a little bit of a learning curve, kind of
getting used. Time the swing. Yeah.
Was this something that I remember you hooked it up like on the teeth and it had like cable wrapped around it or something?
Yeah, it was a chain actually.
Oh, a chain.
It was actually a chain that they had set up.
Hook onto it and just get it to swing just right, and it would hit with enough impact that it would break stuff, huh?
Said it would. It hit hard. The biggest thing was keeping everybody away from you because everybody wanted to come watch. But when it hit, like, stuff is flying.
Did you ever lose it? Like, did it fly off and jump off the bucket? No. Could you throw it if you wanted to?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
just ask. I'm just trying to put a visual, a hook and a wrecking ball on a machine. Everybody thinks your typical wrecking ball is hanging from a crane boom when you're just swinging and smashing into things, which worked really well for a long time.
When I first started with it, it wasn't going great because I didn't know how to do it yet. So it was like
nobody showed you how to do it because nobody else knew how to do it either.
I remember calling up Fran from Cambria, like, give me some pointers. He's like, so he told me about it. And, once you got the hang of it, man, it made short work of material. Like there were some of the column lines where you have the footer and then the column concrete. I could hit it; it would knock it right off the footer.
Oh, really?
Just blast it. It was crazy.
Wow, that wasn't tight in with rebar then, huh? The column
was like pinned.
Oh, and
like
it would
4
just
pins. Just
blast it right off of there.
Bam. Yeah.
Then you get to hammer that stuff up and get it out of there, or you just scoop it right out?
I would just scoop it out afterwards. Once I did wreck the walls or columns, take the wrecking ball off, and they had that bucket. Like I said, it was narrow, so you can get between concrete.
Oh yeah,
and it was beefed up. It was really heavy duty shanks. So I'd pick it up, put it right in the end dump, and then they took it out back where they dump it in a pile where they had, I don't know, there's probably 3 or 4 guys there just processing concrete. It was much faster to just rip it out, get it out of the way.
Yep. Right.
I mean, later, after they processed all that concrete, they backfilled it in an area over there. It's a huge area.
Okay.
Full of concrete.
Wow. There was quite a few operators on that job, too, wasn't there?
I want to say it was probably at its peak, like 65.
That was probably the biggest job you were on as far as, union type, like
For me, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Ferraro had 3 cranes driving pile. I mean, I want to say they put like 7,000 pile in the ground.
Wow.
On that job, and they had forced drilling ahead of them.
Pre-drilling holes for it, yeah.
Yeah, because all the foundations and stuff.
So you were on that as far as the prep work for that. Did you get into like the digging of the foundations for the new buildings and stuff too?
Yeah, so that's what I was doing with the 800 at first, was going around doing the outer foundation walls. That thing made short work of getting the heavy materials out of the way. Did that till, I don't know, probably got about 3/4 of the way around the building, and then we got to an area where it wasn't so bad, and then they got rid of the 800 and brought in the 670, and that had TopCon GPS on it. So we went around, and because it was a brownfield, we went around and pre-dug for all the sewer, all the water.
Oh, really?
Everything, and then backfilled it with clean material. So that why
not just dig it once and then?
Well, because the other companies that were doing the work that were subbed out to bid on the work, I mean, they weren't capable of doing has work or whatnot. So plus when they bid on it, now it's all clean. We made sure we got all the obstructions, dirty material, anything out of the way.
They were digging like through clean stone, or what were they digging through?
Yeah, clean backfill. They had brought in, it was like select fill.
Wow.
Yeah, so like sewer, nice, we were down on the one end like probably 15 feet.
Okay.
So I asked them what size shield they're going to use, and with the GPS you can make sure you're clear to whatever they need.
That worked out good then.
Yeah.
Seemed like extra work, but if it's a cleanup job, I guess
it made it go fast. By the time I got a little ways into it, and there was another crew on the other side doing it as well. There was 2 main like trunk lines on both sides of the building. So once you'd get ahead of them a little bit, they could just start going, and nothing would slow them down.
Right.
They didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
it worked well.
That's cool.
That was really pretty cool. It kept that was a design build job, so it kept the IGS pretty busy.
Oh man,
Greg and Pete.
They had their hands full for a while.
He would be there every couple days with an update. Here, put this in,
change this, change that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's neat.
Oh, that was a pretty cool job. But yeah, we used that for doing all the utilities, the parking lots. They had all those like not retention off the parking lot. What do they call those now?
It's like a settlement pond or something, you mean? Or like
in between each parking lot, it's like they wanted to retain for a little bit longer.
So before it spills over.
So they don't overwhelm sewer systems and whatnot.
Yeah. They're doing a lot of those underground ones now where it's the pipe system.
The pipe system and then it drains.
Under the parking lot.
Almost like a septic kind of.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, that's seeing that more common now.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then Riverbend, come and go. That's a good gig. And did you go back to Pinto or something, I think, after that?
Yeah, I was at Riverbend. We were there, a few of us were there at the end because we had all the slag there, too.
Okay.
So you had all that slag that some of it was tested, radioactive, got shipped out of state.
Wow.
And then a lot of it that was tested clean, we spread out. It was probably 30,000 yards of it. We spread
How
out.
hot was the slag?
Compared to,
real rad?
Yeah, it wasn't super elevated, but it's an issue.
It's an issue, okay.
But it's not like, what those guys are dealing with at West Valley or what was that, Praxair.
But it was still hot enough to be dealt with.
Yeah.
That's great work, right?
Yeah.
You can get
it. Yeah, so we had to spread it out in 6-inch lifts.
Okay.
And then they would paint out grids and test each grid. We did this for 30,000 yards of material.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
Checks are clearing.
Oh, that was beautiful. I was on an 850, John Deere 850, just spreading. Had 2 trucks feeding me all day.
That's great.
Oh, that was great.
Good job. Good work. Yeah, the whole job was awesome for us. There was put a lot of people to work. It was a great time, one of the biggest building jobs we had, but then I don't really know what's going on with it at this point. Tesla's there, but kind of flopped.
I don't think it ever turned into what it was supposed to be.
Solar panel manufacturing.
Yeah,
originally,
I worked there for a little bit with Hull, putting a couple of the machines in the building. This time of year, wearing footies on your boots or little covers on your boots because the salt from outside, if it got in there where they were making the solar panels, it like reversed the process or something that was going on, and it was crazy.
But then they never ended up doing nothing with it. And they took brand new machines out of there not that long ago, and now it's all Tesla.
Some of them they didn't even use.
No,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, we had. There was people that took stuff out of there that were told, "Don't talk to the news. Tell me what you're doing." Like, oh boy, here we go again. All right, so we go from Riverbend. Another good sized job. Did you get into anything else big from there?
Went back and worked with Pinot for a couple of years.
Right.
From there, a bunch of utility work, and we were doing some of those real time controls. For the Buffalo Sewer.
Yeah,
we did one. We did one at Hurdle and Deer. I mean, they shut it right down, real close to where the water main break. Just
is that the one that got flooded? Did you guys get a good flood in there?
A few times.
What about what kind of good, interesting stuff did you see in there after the flood? After it got
picture. There was 2 lines there. One was 12 foot by 10 foot. The other was 10 by 10.
Is that the one that was right in the intersection? That's where I was out there with Kirsch for
Hurdle
or for
Darling. Yeah. So they came up with a good idea. They made a diversion, poured concrete, made a diversion so the pumps didn't have to, run nonstop.
Sure.
But when you get a rain event, that trunk came from like Main Street.
All of it.
So within like 15 minutes of a rain event, and it was coming. So they had alarms down in there that would, go off. But I remember them telling some of the other contractors that were working down in there, had their toolboxes and gang boxes and ladders and everything, and take everything out of the hole at the end of the night. And they didn't. They left it in there.
Ooh. Not going to rain tonight.
I was on another project, and I remember them calling like, "Hey, we need you to go over to this." So they had a PC 400, the long stick on it, and me and the laborer go over there. He's down in the hole, rigging everything up. I can't see him. You know what you saw? The hole was like
straight down.
I couldn't see it. It was probably 30 feet down, and just radio communication, and I'm pulling pick after pick out, and then all of a sudden it's quiet and nothing's going on. And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I see him climbing up the ladder. And he is soaked head to toe.
It just came on, the water?
No, he slipped. He was down in there. He was wearing waders. He slipped. The sewage was probably up to his waist, and he slipped.
Oh.
He slipped. He went under. If you could have seen
under? Like under, head under?
Fully under.
Oh, no.
Fully under. Oh. So I see him climbing up the ladder. He doesn't say a word. You just see him walking towards his truck, stripping everything off. By the time he was down to his underwear by the time he got in the truck. And I'm like, you should go to the doctor.
Yeah, you need a shot or something right now because that's not cool. Ugh, in your ears and your nose. And oh, man.
Nope.
It was like fully sewage. Like it wasn't just... Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was bad.
So,
real bad.
Because I remember looking down into that one time, and you're talking like rebar, like half-poured walls that are just full of everything that floats in the sewer.
They had to spend a whole day cleaning everything afterwards.
They clean that? Pressure washing it?
They had fire hoses and
and then you gotta work in there and try and like reform. Oh man, that's a rough job.
Nope.
Yeah, nope. Good.
Nope.
I don't know how you bid that kind of work and make money at it.
Another good day to be an operator.
That's right. Stay up. I'll be up here in the seat. Just let me know when you need me. Wow. All right. So eventually you ended up becoming into the training center as a field instructor, we call it. So part-time in the winter. When was that?
2017 is when I went through my training.
Okay, so you got your
I went
show?
to Pittsburgh for my Haswapper train-the-trainer.
Yep.
That's where I met Mr. Fetter.
Okay, right.
Fetter was down there.
Had no idea he was coming down there, and you guys showed up in the same place.
We just happened to sit next to each other, too. I just thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I did that in June of 2017, and then it was October of 2017, did the OSHA class. And I think the following year I did the teaching techniques, which you went through all these classes.
Great.
You know, they're great, but it's challenging.
It's tough. It's not easy.
A lot of information.
Here you're gonna do a presentation tomorrow on whatever, and oh boy.
Yeah, well, teaching techniques. It was like every other day you're doing a presentation.
Yeah.
In front of it's.
Like, I run equipment. I don't teach. I don't know what am I doing here.
Yeah. The Haswapper I felt pretty good about because that's what I had been doing.
Yeah, you had a great background for that one.
You know, and then like even OSHA, you go into that OSHA, it's like even though you've taken OSHA classes and you know the information for the most part, now you're with like your peers from around the international and then like the lead instructors for the international. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
But everybody's great when you go to those. They're, supportive. And,
super supportive, yeah.
No, it's good. I learned a ton. It's definitely humbling, too, when you go there.
Oh,
it's
man,
like,
big time.
But, yeah.
Yeah, because as like good as you were on equipment, they are as at OSHA or whatever it may be.
For sure. So
did you start that year then in 17 as far as the
winter 2018?
Oh, 2018. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right.
Yep. And that was the first year I did Haswapper. You were still there as a field instructor. I did that year. I did just Haswapper, and I think we did disaster site worker. I think we did too.
DFW class, right?
And then I went back out.
So we work from right around the first of the year. Our training classes go from there until April, really much for the field stuff, and then you went back in the field. How many years did you do that before you came on full time?
It would have been 5 years, I think.
5 years,
so 2022 was in the summer of 22 was my first time going full time at the school.
Okay.
So
now you're full time. You're training coordinator, which is your title, and you're not really training anymore. We've got other guys doing that, so you're coordinating that and working with apprentices and.
Well, actually, kind of doing a little overlap at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, we were kind of doing both.
So you are still doing some training, though.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Overlapped till this year.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got some younger blood coming in there, taking over.
Yeah, man.
Good.
Man. Eric DePalma and Matt Slater.
Yeah.
They've both been doing a great job, and looking forward to.
So let's talk about the training then. As far as what kind of classes that we're doing, I mean, we'll just talk about the actual training for the wintertime before we really get into like the apprentice stuff as far as that goes. But with the schedule that we have out there now, we're looking at like we've got a crane license renewal review that we do for the crane test. This crane safety, a 32-hour crane safety class. What is that? Is there a cert? Is there a requirement with that one, or how does that work?
Well, two different things there. The crane license renewal, every 3 years,
Right.
They got a test. So we've been, and that started. What was that? 2018.
Yeah,
when they started that.
Can't remember.
So put on a review class at night, just a refresher for the guys to kind of get their head back around it. And then we scheduled the test with the DOL at our facility, so they can only do a dozen or so at their testing facility. Mm-hmm. So with us, they can grab as many that need it. If there's 30, you can get 30 guys in there.
Okay.
And it works out pretty well for them too. They like it. So Jonathan's done a great job. He's built a pretty good relationship with the local DOL rep, and it's been going pretty good.
Right.
Crane safety, there's no cert there, but we're trying to get like the first year apprentices, the second year apprentices into that. It's all things crane.
Yeah, it's a great class.
and really kind of get them going at the end of their first year. If you did it right when they first came in, it's just there's already so much going on. It's just overwhelming.
Too much going on,
Yeah.
So we try and catch them at the end or maybe the middle of their first year.
I don't know how anybody could be a crane operator without going through a class like that. There's so much good information as far as crane safety goes. So that's good. So that's really, is it open for anybody, or is that just apprentices that go in there?
It's open for anybody.
Anybody, yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, I think you get a lot of the apprentices that come in at the start, too, that are like, oh, I'm just a dirt guy. I don't want anything to do with the cranes. Until you get out and you start doing stuff around the cranes, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah, they've changed.
This is some pretty cool stuff. Like, and then, so you got more of their attention. You give them a little bit, you got more of their attention. You know what I mean? They're not like, I don't need to know load charts. I don't want to know this. I'm not going to be around cranes.
And some of it actually makes more sense to them at that point, too, because they've been around it, and now they come in, and it's like, oh, okay. That's
more engaged in the class than just sitting there listening to
it's worked pretty well.
I think I've seen a lot of opinions change on cranes when they actually get out the oil on something and they do a cool job like a wind farm, and then you get these guys that were just like you said, and then they come back and like, man, that was cool. Like, yeah,
pick up something real heavy, and they're like, whoa,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the crane opportunities that they're having over the last
unbelievable
4 or 5 years has been.
Some of these first-year apprentices get more seat time in a crane than I got in all 4 years of my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
And the stuff that the first-year apprentices are doing, I'll never in my life get to do, and neither will 90% of our members get to do that they're already doing, like setting a base section for a windmill. That's not...
We were talking to Emily about it this morning. She was on a 500-ton crane out there.
She set most of them towers at Ball Hill. The first 2-3 sections, Emily set most of them.
Yeah.
You think about the guys out at the stadium with Stonebridge.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Amazon and, just...
Pretty wild what the apprentices got. Okay, so Haswapper 40-hour initial, that obviously is come and gone early January. We always do the initial one for that. What entails of that class?
Well, Haswapper, like we were talking earlier, I was doing train derailments and, oil spills and tire fires and big drum jobs and rad jobs. Haswapper incorporates a little bit more than that. So especially in Buffalo, an old industrial city, you dig anywhere, there's potential.
Yep.
So South Buffalo is almost all a brownfield, designated a brownfield area.
Really? The whole South Buffalo
There's
area?
huge corridors, that are already like...
So if you put a bucket in the ground in South Buffalo...
really anywhere around Western New York. I mean, but the state actually designated certain areas as... They're already approved as brownfield areas, so if a developer goes in there to build something, this kind of speeds up the process. But not that on all brownfields you need a Haswapper, but quite a few of them you could need one. A Haswapper cert. So you could be doing. I was working on Seneca Street, doing a water line. It was a clean work. Well, we had to stop because we came across petroleum. It was an old gas station near there, and we had to stop, and then they had to get samples of the soil, and we all had our Haswapper cert, so we were able to just continue on.
Once look how that works, huh?
Yeah. So for the contractor, it works very well. And that, working there at Pinot, I think everybody there has it, and it's for that reason.
I know we get a lot of people. It's a 40-hour. It's a 1 week. I get a lot to give up. But how much money have you made with that Haswapper card in your career?
Well, I mean, for me, yeah.
Right. But it's a...
And that type of work is work you can do year-round.
Yep. Well, and that premium you get paid, work on it for a couple of weeks, and you already cleared what you would have made in that 32-hour or the 40-hour in that week that you missed just taking the cert.
For sure.
Yeah, there's been a few jobs we've had to get it. We've got Sevenson doing a great cleanup job in a creek now with, a dozen guys on it, and that was hard to find for those, to get those jobs manned up, but we did, and that's great. They're making good money out there.
I bet you if you talk to Jonathan, he would agree with me, but doing this type of work, a lot of people like, it's dirty dirt, I don't want to deal with contaminants, but it's so heavily regulated, these jobs. I would actually prefer it.
It's safer than not knowing what's in the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We know it's here.
Yeah.
We know how to protect ourselves from it. But yet, if you're digging through the South Buffalo and you're just digging, you have no idea what you're breathing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you even think about other building materials on our clean jobs, right? You're talking how many guys have been around a dump truck, dumps limestone in a cloud of, day after day in these clouds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so you take the HAZWOPER class, you start to learn a little bit more about
what that silica can do to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Health
How to
hazards
protect
and,
yourself from it.
milling and grinding operations and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of always said. Even if you don't ever use this card, at least you'll understand how to protect yourself and your family from the hazards that are out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good topics in there. I mean, you're talking about hazard communication, confined spaces, which every one of our jobs, you're doing utility work, you're getting into that stuff. So there's a lot of good information in there. It's not just about digging up chemicals.
Yeah, right. All right, so now the next thing is we got these refreshers for this HAZWOPER. What's that all about?
OSHA requires an annual refresher, especially if you're not into this work all the time. It takes a bit to kind of get your head wrapped around it again. So it's important to be refreshed on that. I know even us, like when we're instructing the class, it's like you got to get your head around the information again. It takes a little bit.
Right. Now I know you'll get some guys that'll say, well, I can take that online, or I took it online. How does that work with online?
It doesn't work well. It might work okay for the regulatory part, but suiting up, putting PPE on, especially the respirators, if you don't know how to properly use a respirator, it's no good to you. So even our international put out information that we don't support online training. And I've run into this issue with a few guys that they missed their refresher, so they did it online, and then they come back and they're like, hey, I'm like, well, we can't accept online training.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even OSHA's even strict about not just HAZWOPER, but OSHA 10-hour construction.
10-hour construction.
You're supposed to be able to ask somebody questions. So even if you're doing it, if you have questions, what do you do?
Ask AI, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
ChatGPT.
No, it's we don't really support online training for those types of courses, and especially with the PPE.
And we're never gonna. We want hands-on. We want to show somebody, like, demonstrate to me that you know how to put a respirator on. You know how to don one effectively, that I can put you out to a job and know that our training actually means something. Is what I.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, guys ask questions in the class like, man, do I need to remember what type of respirator I got to pick or the cartridges? It's like, you got to remember that you're putting your health and safety into somebody else's hands.
Yes.
So you need to be able to recognize when something's right or isn't, and at least question it.
Stop and question it.
Yeah.
It's your health.
So, I mean, I feel like if you get that in-person training, going through that, plus when you put the respirator on with us, we go through the evals. You remember doing them.
Yeah.
If somebody makes a mistake, you could learn from it right then and there versus just, going through some sort of online videos or something.
The stuff on the 40-hour when we get into, like, the smells, kind of like comparisons of different smells of concentrations, and then I don't know if you guys still do it, but we put the gloves on with that stuff that goes on your hands that you can't see until you turn a black light. Glow germ. Yeah. And then we do some things, and you realize about how it's unbelievable.
How easy it spreads.
I don't know how you do that online, but that actually really opens your eyes up.
Comes through your keyboard.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So that really opens your eyes up as to, like, washing your hands and the importance of gloves or whatever it may be, that what we can...
The decon process.
The decon process, correct.
They did it again this year.
Good. That's great. I think it's awesome. That's this kind of stuff you can't get online.
Yeah. No, it's all good in the whole decon process and trying to avoid the materials in the first place.
All right, so HAZWOPER 40-hour nursing. Once you have that, then you're required to do a yearly refresher. No online training accepted for that one. We're only accepting the training done here at our site for this one, for HAZWOPER. Okay. Forklift, 16-hour initial. What do we got with that one?
We cover all the requirements in the standard, and we do 16 hours because we're operators, and we claim the work, and we should be the most knowledgeable about it.
Which we are.
Right? You have places that will do training, and they may cover the topics, but
it's like you can get a forklift card online, but anybody can click the mouse, click the right answer. You know what I mean? But who are you in? How do you take a practical?
I got a forklift card when I was working in a shop, and it was watch this video for an hour, and then you guys are all certified. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know, but looking at it now,
I had somebody on the wind farm that they were running a forklift, and safety came up and they're like, "Hey, your forklift card's expired. What do we do? We're trying to figure out whether, you know what I mean, if we get him into a class, but the classes were over, if we could put one on." He had a new forklift card by the time he was home from work.
Jeez, yeah,
that's
crazy.
all they needed to see was a new card with a different date.
Pretty sad because it
is sad.
If that safety guy came out there and said, "Hey, here's the load and the distance. Can you do this?" And if they can go, that's the one thing. It was you should be able to do is read the load chart and tell me what you can do. And I'm sure a lot of people can't.
I mean, clearly they could run the forklift. They're doing a good job.
Yeah,
and they had a card. You know what I mean? But it was just that. It was that simple. Crazy. And they wonder why there's accidents.
I think that was the very first class I took when I got into the local.
Forklift card?
Yeah. Yep, I took it back in 99. That was right when the standard came out. Yeah, and I remember taking it, and you learn quite a bit that...
You think you know.
Yeah, and you can... I think it's a piece that a lot of people kind of, I guess, disrespect or don't...
You take it for granted.
Yeah, take it for granted. It's like you get in a lot of trouble real quick, especially you start lifting to heights and you didn't figure out your loads.
I think it's the scope of work. Like pick that up and put it over there. They look at it like no matter what if it's forklift, this is easy. Well, sure it is, but when you got to pick that up and put it 5 stories up there, now is it that easy? So you can get messed up. So that's a 16-hour initial, and that one's really important too. And every year we seem to get people that don't have those cards, but yet. The other trades are training those things too. So when we get to a job where it's not, what you want to call a union job, we have a hard time with these things, and especially if we're going over there saying, "Hey, these should be operators," and then it's like, well, everybody's requiring forklift certs, and if we don't have guys that have them, we can't claim this work.
Yeah,
and it's worked. There's been a ton, especially since the stadium. I think we've had a steady diet of 20, 25 forklift operators on the stadium for the last 2 years. Like that's a lot of hours.
Yeah,
and if we didn't have the training and the people to do it, we'd be missing out on that stuff. Like
up at Lake Mariner, there's probably a ton of guys.
There's got to be. I haven't been up there in a while, but there's got to be a ton. But there are other locals don't have what we have. When our international rep came here, he couldn't believe that we manned all the forklifts. It's like that's how we do it here, right? But
it seemed like when the standard first came out, enforcement was a little better.
Yeah,
and then it got to a period where. Nobody was checking.
Yeah, it's tough.
Nobody's checking. What we're finding out now is, employers, even, they're like, oh, you got a card, you went to your local, you got a card, you're in good shape. But in reality, the standard says you should be trained by the employer on your specific, like we can't cover every single forklift.
Correct, yeah.
So when you're supposed to get, some training on your conditions and none of that's happening.
Gotcha. And we get a refresher, so that certification expires every 3 years?
Yes, sir. Yeah, every 3 years you need to renew that. Or there are several other conditions that'll say, if, accident, or if you're seen operating it unsafely, like an employer could say, you got to get recertified, something along those lines. Or if you get on a different type, there's numerous reasons why you should get refreshers, but at a minimum, it's every 3.
So we had 6 of those classes that are happening. They're already happened at this point.
Yeah, just finished up yesterday.
So we get into OSHA. So 10-hour OSHA. 3 classes of those. 10-hour, though, this kind of always a sticking point. What, can't we do 10 hours? Just get it one down in one day?
Yeah, we have to do it. You cannot do it by law in one day. The breaks, lunches, all of that does not count as time. So it's all about contact time of actual content of material. So we have to do it over 2 days.
Okay.
We recommend, you should take one every 2 to 3 years, really. It depends on where you go to work. It depends on the property owner, what they're going to require on their site.
Right.
We've had some members call up, hey, I lost my card. I'm at such and such a plant, and, they want to see my OSHA card. I look it up, and it's like from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I send it to them, and they call me back. They're like, didn't I take one sooner than that? Because they want it within 5 years or 3 years. It's like, nope, this is all you got.
There's a lot of times that and I wish they would ask for the OSHA card before I dispatch the member out there to work, because they'll call me after, like right around the time they're getting their first paycheck. And, hey, you got a copy of this guy's OSHA card? I don't. No, I don't keep that. They don't have theirs? Well, they lost their card, so we'll go to the training center and find it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes will say, we can't have this guy, his card's not up to date. And then I've had one contractor say, just give me something that says OSHA on it. Oh, okay. I don't know. But yeah, it's an important card to have to make sure that you don't ever have to turn down a job. Or
we had good numbers in the first class. So,
good.
Yeah, there's quite a few. Same with the forklift initial. There was some really good numbers in there too. So.
It's not only a card, but it is good training. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff to learn on OSHA.
Yeah. And it's some, refresher. I mean,
right.
And it's only to protect the worker.
Yeah.
It's everything that's going to help you.
Yeah. For you.
Yeah, you stay safe. We all go home. Okay. Asbestos worker handler. That's the New York State cert.
Yeah, New York State requirement. Again, you're going to have to do a hands-on portion in that class. That's going on right now.
Okay. 32-hour class for that one.
Yeah.
And then that again has got refreshers every year.
Annually. Yep.
Annually.
New York State requires an annual refresher.
And this one gets goofy with your birthday and stuff like that. It's becoming to get on all that, but yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But you have to take a class every year, no matter what you have.
Yep. Within that, you have to have a training cert within that time period.
Okay. MSHA, new minor 24-hour class. What would somebody need an MSHA card for?
If you're going to work at one of our pits or quarries, we've had quite a few of our shop guys that go out and working in there. We've had some of our crane rental houses are in there. They're working on, repairs and things like that.
Repairs, no matter what.
We've had a few of our contractors over the last few years, it seems, we're doing like stripping operations for the quarry. So they're in there doing
This is what part?
We do Part 48.
Part 48. Yeah. In fact, Sean's got a good story about, it's still not a story, but there was a time when CACO had called for a bunch of guys with MSHA cards to come up and work in a quarry, and the only people we had available were apprentices.
And it wasn't even a quarry at that time. They were literally just stripping the overburden, just stripping a little bit of topsoil off the top and the overburden. It wasn't even. I mean, there was. They didn't mine anything yet, really.
Yeah.
What year apprentice were you? Remember, like you were probably third or fourth, right?
Third or fourth, yeah.
How many other apprentices were there with you? Remember that?
Three or four.
Yeah, that was neat though. 'Cause I remember calling a couple of older journeymen, and I'm like, that were not working and out of work that year or whatever. I'm like, hey, you got an MSHA card? What's MSHA? Okay, I guess you don't have a card. So anyway, we'll just go to the apprentices. We have all the certs. Yeah, you guys got a little time on that. So that's
we run into some issues with MSHA because we train Part 48. MSHA has a lot of complicated rules.
Sure they do.
To teach Part 48 for your training center to do Part 48, you have to go through a MSHA, train the trainer, and get authorized to teach. Part 46 is for contractors. It's a little different. The instructor does not need to be MSHA authorized, but it doesn't encompass as much as what the 48.
Okay.
But once you're, like for us, we're Part 48, we can't do Part 46. Our mine plan only allows us to do Part 40. So we run into some issues where we do have some members that are Part 46 and then want to get their update. We can't
update a 46.
We can't do it.
Okay.
But the contractors could do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're got to do then. So that gets a yearly refresher as well?
Yes, annually. Yeah.
And then the CPR, first aid, AED, that's tied into MSHA as well, though.
It is. So MSHA's requirements that, somebody on the shift on that crew needs to have this cert or a comparable. We do it in the 24-hour class, and then we also do a standalone to get everybody, every 2 years you need to do that. So,
I mean, to me, that's just as important as an OSHA or anything else to have the CPR and all that, your first aid and AED training. I mean, even for your family at home.
Yeah, we've had our members on jobs.
100%.
When we were at Riverbend, Ron Marin and Keegan Latchett saved a guy's life out there.
I remember hearing the story, yeah.
The guy was in his 20s.
His 20s?
Oh, late 20s.
Oh.
And he had a sudden cardiac issue. He went down. And you're talking on that site at that point, there was probably 1,000 people working there. The footprint of the building is like 22 acres.
Yeah.
The footprint. And this guy, his crew, nobody on his crew knew what to do. And by the time, calls came over the radio, Ron and Keegan responded. And they said when they got there, the guy was already turning blue.
Oh.
And they went to work right away. Because they knew what to do.
Yeah.
Went to work right away. If you talk to them, I talked to Ronnie, I wonder if he even remembered what happened.
No.
It's probably just such a
traumatic
adrenaline rush, yeah.
Saved the guy's life. And the crew said it. I mean, the guy, he wasn't a drinker, smoker. He actually was a runner, like long-distance runner, and 28 years old. You would have thought.
No, you'd have thought.
And the guy dropped, and our guy saved his life. It was pretty cool.
We just did it's been 3 or 4 years now, where we went to a safety training for a company that was putting a power line in, and they had talked about AEDs and how they were in every single one of their pickup trucks, nationwide, company-wide now, because they had saved a number of lives with just an AED itself. And
that makes you think of, like, on the windmill jobs when everybody's spread out, are there AEDs available in different supervisors' trucks out there?
When I was on most supervisor trucks, Wesson, I believe it's every one of their foremen.
They just have one in the truck.
When I was at Ball Hill with Kiewit, most of them had it. But then there was also, like, their safety guys were trained paramedics and stuff like that too. So they, the first phone call, they were headed, and their vehicles were stockpiled.
Yeah. Yeah, the scary part there is there's going to be decent distance between that. But
and then you wonder how many people know how to use it.
Oh, I don't know. But if you're one of our members, you got the opportunity to come take this class and could be that guy that could save somebody.
So last year we had several, and this year there's one on there, and the reason is because the amount of people in the database. So I'll make the number of classes based on how many people need to get a refresher. We'll send a notice out to them. And, we can only do, per instructor, 12 people at a time. So in a class, we could do 24.
24?
Right now.
Okay. Well, hopefully there's 24 people in that class then.
Yeah, it looked pretty full.
Good.
So. And last year, all those classes were full. So
good. Contract and dues class, that's one Sean and I teach. We've had a lot of, in the last, 5 or 10 years or so, it seems like we've had a lot of people that just don't understand the contract or what dues are and how they figure to come out of your paycheck and what to look for. So we developed a class, and that's been well received by the people that take it. And I wish more would take it, but every year we get
the apprentices that are forced to take it. But then there's always journeymen that come in. We've actually had a couple journeymen that have taken it multiple times.
Sure. But we always
had nothing but good things to say about it.
Yep.
That they picked up a lot of good info.
Yep.
So.
I think every week though we're dealing with a paycheck issue that somebody and really we just strive to say, guys, we don't expect you to exactly know how to calculate these things, but you need to know that this isn't right. Like, this doesn't look right. Have enough information to know that your check is.
We've had that though. We've had guys call. They're like, "Hey, I don't know what's wrong, but something doesn't look right." Okay, send it over.
And then we've had plenty of people that we found out later, like, you've been missing this $9.93 in your check for how long? Well, I didn't know. Well, yeah, now we find it, and
so how much money am I getting?
Yeah, $5,000. What? It's crazy, but yeah. Steward class, we do that one too. That anybody looking to aspire to be the steward, Sean and I put that class on.
Another good one.
Yeah, really been pretty good.
I think even people who may not think that they could be a steward should take it. I mean, you learn a lot, and you could also help the steward on the job, even if you're not going to be the steward.
Right,
you have, more information to help
100%.
them out.
Yeah, it's a good class. Rad 2 initial, 16-hour, 2-day class.
Yeah, so we get into all of the required modules to get your Rad Worker 2, which basically means that you can go unescorted into certain areas versus if you had a Rad 1, you'd have to be escorted.
Okay.
Typically, we've had, besides the remediation jobs or West Valley, we've had some guys that go to work at plants and do outages, run a crane, and do pretty well. So when you go to one of those facilities, you're going to have to take theirs anyways. But I've had guys say that they were glad they took it because at least before they go into this other facility, they have a pretty good idea of what's going to be on the test and the information. They know it.
And we get a Rad 2 refresher, 8-hour. How often is this one?
That's every 2 years.
2 years.
That every
the
2.
cert's good for 2. Yeah. I remember when I was teaching this class, and this guy named Matt Weldon come walk in, sat down in the class, and here I am. I'd never been on a Rad job. I mean, I could spell Rad, but I couldn't see it, taste it, no whatever. And Matt sits down, I'm like, I got to refresh you on radiation. I just felt so weird. I'm like, you should be teaching this class, Matt. And
but
he was great. He didn't make me feel dumb or nothing. It was good. But
you were facilitating.
That's it.
Good job.
Facilitating. But that was it. That's the only one that I really haven't. Well, there's a few, but that was the one I felt out at when I was training that one. Welding safety, I fit right into it. I was training that one, though.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
32-hour class for welding if you want to learn how to weld. And we burn a lot of rod and exothermic torch and cutting and brazing and all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah, that's a good class.
Yeah, job site safety and grade checking.
Yeah, so with that class, we first thing, you have a lot of issues on jobs with grade checkers, safety, blind spots. Probably back in the day, probably a little bit more than now with GPS and things like that. But grade checking back in the day, people are bending down, marking stakes, and blind spots on our equipment. Many of the other people that don't run our equipment don't understand that I can't see you. I don't know where you are.
Fresh out of college, and I'm here to check this compaction on this thing here.
So that's a big part about it. Another, we get into lasers a little bit with the GPS, not much.
Some layout, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit with that. The lasers, laying out, an area, marking your stakes, calculating, figuring out stone or, excavation materials. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people are in a spot at like 2 PM. The foreman comes over. How many trucks you want tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know. How do you answer that?
I think it helps like a newer apprentice or somebody, or not even just a newer apprentice, but like somebody understanding elevations. They don't, somebody new to a bunch of dirt work, they have no idea. You're setting a laser or something, whether you take take it up, take it down, whether you're coming in and out of the ground or in the ground.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said too. We command a good wage, and some of the contractors look at us like, well, I'm going to give you a laborer, and I need you to go over there and set this catch basin. And the laborer looks at you like, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So now it's our responsibility to help get the stuff done. So it's good for everybody because then when you're looking for big wages and stuff, you can say, well, I can do more than pull the levers too.
Yeah, I mean, we get into inverts and bedding and all that type of stuff.
Good. And we get into hydraulic hammer safety. This was kind of created, too, after Riverbend a bit. I remember when we were talking about the pile of hammer points, and we're like, I wonder how many people actually understand how to hammer or what's going on inside a hammer, what to do, what not to do. And when we did this one, I brought in one guy that, remember, retired now, that thought he knew everything there was to know about
Probably run hammer quite a bit, right?
Oh, run hammer for years, hammer. And then he left the class and said, man, I learned a lot today. I'm like, well, that was the goal. Because I learned a ton putting the class together. I didn't know how stuff worked. But what are we breaking that one, Matt? What do we got?
Well,
concrete.
Yeah, we have some concrete slabs that we work on, but the last couple of years we've been expanding the pond.
Okay. Trenching and hammering shale.
Yeah, hammering the shale. We had dug out all the removable shale, like easy diggable shale, and then get down to that hard stuff. And the last couple of years, contractors helped us out. We've had 3-4 machines in there.
That's great.
So guys are getting a ton of time hammering and learning about it. It's
if you never
really
hammered before, if you think you know what you're doing, I guarantee you're going to learn something in this about hammers.
Even just taking care of it, greasing intervals, and
what to do, what not to do,
not leaving it laying down for long periods.
Yeah, I had no idea they're supposed to leave.
They still bring the Brock in during that class.
We probably that's something I gotta get a hold of.
No,
we share that with 158s.
Yeah,
we gotta get
Brock in here.
Yeah.
Good. All right, we got pension seminar. That's for anybody that's looking to learn about our pensions, whether you're getting ready to retire or just want to know more. It's an evening class, 6 p.m.
Yep.
Then you got signal person.
I think real quick with the pension. I mean, contract and dues, steward class, pension classes. The more that you know about your own benefits as a member, can't you explain it to other people when people are? It just makes sense to.
We made those videos on YouTube, man. If you can watch the videos on YouTube, it's basically all the information on the pensions that is on there, but it's a condensed version of it. But it's out there.
We were over there at lunchtime. We were talking about, Jonathan had pulled up something on social media, and it wasn't people from our local, but there's some people talking about pensions and stuff within our internet. So much misinformation.
Oh, yeah.
It's like. It's frustrating to even read it. It's like
when I asked about pensions when I was an apprentice, I just got told, "Keep working, kid." I'm like, that's easy. I can keep working, but what are these pensions? Or what? Now I just can't help but brag about how good they are. Oh yeah, that was. We were just talking today. We signed up a new guy today, and his wife's a trooper. She's for a couple of years, and I'm like, man, in 3 years, you're going to pass her, and then some in pension. It'll be quick. All right, signal person?
Typically, you're going to see our new apprentices in there when they come in.
Didn't this used to be one class, signal rigging? So now we got 2 different classes, huh?
Yeah, it was all one. It was all the same week, but we kind of split it up.
Broke it up.
Typically, when the new apprentices come in, get them in that class right away. If they're going to go out oiling, it's kind of like they get forklift, they get OSHA, they get signal rigs, so that they can at least, have a foundation to go out and work. But certainly anybody else that, wants to come in.
If anybody has been working construction, there's a multitude of signals out there in the field, whether they're, proper or they're just what they've been doing at that company. So that's a good place to learn proper signals.
No, it's a good class, real good class.
Rigging safety kind of goes along with crane, but really anything rigging. I mean, if you're picking up stuff with a hole, catch basins, and whatever pipe.
They go over, all of the equipment and shackles and cables. And recently they've done some more hands-on with it. They developed some, Jonathan put together a nice. He's got load cells, and he gets them at the slings at different angles, so you can see what's happening. And it
really opens your eyes up when you put a sling at a wrong angle and how much more it changes things.
Well, it really opens up people's eyes too, that realize that there's a difference between lifting chain and binding chain. Like, I can't use that chain that I unchained the machine with to pick that up.
You're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we're pulling a lever, and if it fails, somebody's going to be pointing a finger at you. So we can save an accident, by doing the right thing. We're gonna 16-hour OQ, underground utility safety.
That's kind of evolved.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago it was when our card would cover what National Fuel was looking for, but now they've added so many more.
It would be. They call it all Qs, but it's just like layers of.
Covered tasks.
Covered tasks.
They've added so many. The international stopped doing it, but we kept doing it. But what we've kind of done now is it's still a really good class for the apprentices when they come in, learning about,
flagging and colored and pipes. And,
it's
it's
types of pipes, the materials,
How long ago was it that the 811 came in and when everybody had the Dig Safe certification, which, I mean, that's still out there, but not really being enforced anymore. But it's along the same lines of this. Like, what are your tolerance zones? Where are you safe to dig? What are you supposed to do? Who are you supposed to call?
What are your responsibilities?
Right, your responsibilities as the guy.
If you're digging next to a line and you notice, or maybe you bump into it, you have an obligation.
Just cover it up.
To do something.
Yeah, no, right. There's a lot to it.
And it's good too. Like if you pull up on a job on the side of the road, and you know what color flag means what. You already before you even get out and go read them, you already know. Okay, so the white ones, that's where I'm going to be digging. That's
green ones, sewer.
Right. Oh, we got a sewer, we got a water line, we got gas going through here.
Or even what to look for if you don't think something's marked properly.
Right.
Start looking around, look at the poles, look at the building, see if you could see anything.
A lot of good information that can prevent, it can prevent you from getting laid off from your job, from hitting a utility or just causing a problem. And there's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah.
All right, and we got GPS, 16-hour.
So this is more of just an intro to GPS. We have Trimble and TopCon. We've had TopCon for years. We added Trimble in 2023 on our D5K. So we have Base Rover and Dozer. We don't currently have Trimble on an excavator, but we have TopCon on the Dozer and excavator, and we just upgraded our Base and Rover for that. We upgraded all the sensors on the Dozer and the excavator, so we're
Cat D5K, the 51 Komatsu.
51 and the one PC138.
PC138.
Yep. So we're up to speed on that.
Good. No, that's great.
There are, more advanced classes available. I mean, we only have a few pieces with it.
Right.
Crosby, if you take a class there,
in
they
Texas.
got 10 pieces. You can go down there.
All the different brands. Good.
And they have different levels that you could, if you do the first class, and then you can move on to some other more advanced classes as you go.
Yeah, that's great. And that one's, when do we have that class, in March?
That's in May.
May, okay. Oh, that's in May.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, so that about covers the training at the training center. We could get into a lot of other stuff with apprentices, but I guess for the essence of time, you got any funny stories or any mistakes you want to talk about over your career that stick out?
Well, I mean, I guess I was kind of telling some as we went with the laborers, falling in the sewage, or
that was a good one. Right.
Even there. I guess there's some I wouldn't share.
Okay.
We don't have to get into that. I don't have to get into that. But all right, so how many? So you're 26 years in, right? Okay. What do you think so far about like being a member of 17 and like let's just think on the retirement and the career aspect of it?
The retirement aspect. I mean, when we're younger, we don't necessarily think about it as much.
Nobody
we don't.
Does, no.
I do remember when I was, 19, 20, starting out non-union. My parents, you're making good money. You should probably get into something and start putting some money away. So, not everybody can. When I got into the union, and you start to learn about the pensions, and you're like, wow, this is something, and to start raise a family. I have 3 children. To be able to, our wages and benefits, to be able to put them, have a nice home, get them into, help them out with education as they got older, get into education opportunities if they choose to go that route. My kids did, so able to help them out. And never had to sacrifice retirement to do it. You could help them out and not have to worry about sacrificing retirement. I'm sure there's so many people in our country that
money
they're trying to
put away. They had to pull out to do
trying to help their kids or doing whatever, or if something happens with the house or They're raiding their 401ks.
Yep.
And that's another whole topic together.
Yeah, raiding 401ks to help your kids buy houses. I've heard that story a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, never having to sacrifice any of that retirement to be able to help the family.
Are you on track as far as your pensions go to retire comfortably then if you keep working? Look at that. Yeah. You're not quite losing money yet by working, Matt? Is that what you're telling me? It's close.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
It's unbelievable to think about the fact that you just work till not even to your 62 or 65, and you're going to be at some point where you're going to lose money by going to work.
Yeah. I remember it was back in the fall, Tommy Hopkins. He was kind of telling the story about how they got us into the Central.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
CPF,
thank you.
Thank you, brother. That was a great move.
They were putting in, I don't know if it was a quarter or
whatever.
It was
25 cents back then.
At the start, but
right.
I mean,
and that was tough then
now.
Because I remember reading something about it because when the CPF started, that was their whole raise that year to get into it. So it was like everybody wanted the money in their pocket, but then we're going to put it in the CPF, and it was like, no raise or whatever. And it wasn't a unanimous vote. It was definitely something that was contentious, but luckily we did it because
those people that voted against it, I'd love to see what they have to say about it.
Right. Yeah. How do you like your pension now? Makes you wonder. Well, that's good that we're in a good spot with the retirement. Yeah.
No, I say to the younger ones all the time over there at the school, like,
that's it.
You may not quite know what you got yet, but I think you're going to be.
You'll be just fine.
I've actually been surprised some of the units that we bargain for a contract, we bargain for a raise, we get a dollar amount, and we go to the unit and say, hey, okay, we got $1 this year. What do you guys want to do? And it used to be a couple, 3, 4 years ago, all the young guys are like, what do you mean? It's all got to go in the wage. I got groceries to buy, blah, 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 this, that. Lately, they've been seeing it, and they've been, let's put some money in that pension. We just did one with Anderson, and the guys were like, pension. I'm like, wow, there isn't anybody in that thing that's over 30 whatever years old. I'm like, man, this is great to see. So some guys are seeing it. So it's good.
Definitely.
It's good to hear. Yeah. All right, well, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Back to the training thing. If, the training center always gets, thought about just for the apprentices. What if a journeyman wants to come in, sharpen up on some skills or something like that? What do they got to do? Just real quick, just so they know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make the opportunity available. We ask that you call the day before, and especially this time of year, we got a lot more apprentices at the training center.
Yeah. Right.
So, figuring out, pieces of equipment, we want to make sure that, pieces are available. We had a couple come in today.
Nice.
Yeah. Would they run forklift?
Run forklift?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. No, that's great. Everybody can use a brush up on stuff. I'd love to go over there if I had time just to run something because it's still fun. You know, that's.
I think that's one of the best parts for working over there.
Yeah, you got to go over there. You can still hop in the iron. Yeah. Most thing I get to drive is a truck, a pickup truck. But yeah. All right. Well, if that's it, anything else?
I would say on the training side too is that iTech facility, if you can take advantage of it.
Right.
Crosby, go.
It's been a little tough the last few years because of the work.
Yeah, everybody's been working so much.
Haven't had as many people taking advantage of it the last 2 years, but man, it's state of the art.
We could have a whole show on iTech.
Yep.
Yeah. One of those guys up here and check it out.
But I know you've taken some classes, right?
Yep, on 4 times I've been there. 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah, they got great classes. The instructors are great.
Oh, top notch, from all around the country. Yeah.
Including one of our own.
Yeah. For a little bit longer. I think he's going to do a couple more, and then it'll be the end of that. But until somebody else takes over in that role. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Matt. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Well, thank you. Like I said earlier, it's a great idea. I'm looking forward to the content in the future.
Yeah. We're going to keep
unlimited what you guys
keep this
do.
ball rolling for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget to like and share. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Local 17 on the web and Local 17
Facebook.
And Facebook. Catch my updates out there. All right. Thanks everybody.